Togo is a Japanese coaster manufacturer that apparently builds some good rides over in Japan. When they've taken their talents over to America, something seems to get lost on the way. Of the 6 coasters they installed here between 1984 and 1997, only one remains. The Big Apple coaster at New York Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. You may also know this as Manhattan Express, or just roller coaster, but currently it's going by Big Apple Coaster. This thing is a lot of things, but first and foremost, it's notorious for being a bad ride. Despite the fact it stands over 200 feet tall and sniffs the 5,000 foot mark in length, the elements, transitions, and trains are universally condemned in the coaster world. There isn't much that can be done about the elements or the transitions, but the resort did order brand new trains built by Premier Rides for 2021. I was able to get out to Vegas and give them a try. This was my experience with the new and improved Big Apple coaster. When I got there, right after the trains were swapped out in 2021, I went to the bottom floor of the parking structure, and the old trains were just sitting there, along with some bent track. This was from one of the new trains derailing on the lift hill during a test run back in December 2020. A little unnerving, but they got that fixed up and safe to open. It was interesting getting up close and personal with these trains, some of the worst ever designed, and they need to be as far away from a coaster as possible. When I went inside to ride it, the coaster was down for wind. I don't remember it being windy at all. I have no idea what was really going on. I never got my chance to ride in 2021. 1 year later, I came back and I had better luck this time. Enter the casino. Follow the signs for Manhattan Express, even though that's not what it's called anymore. You'll see a ticket booth before you enter the arcade. This usually has a long line, so you can scan a QR code with your phone and buy a ticket online. I did this, and it took 3 tries for the ticket to go through. $19 for a ride before 6 p.m., and after that, you'll be paying $23. That's insane, but they had to pay for those new trains somehow. Before you enter the queue, they tell you gotta lock up your phone. This will cost you yet another $1. I had an even harder time with the lockers. I had to scan my credit card like 15 times before it finally went through. I was seriously about to give up, but then it went through and I was finally good to ride. This meant I couldn't get any pictures of the new train in the station, but I did get some from the ground level. Once you're in the station, you do get assigned a row. I think you can ask for a row if you want, but I was sent to the back, which is where I wanted to go anyway. Everything from entering the casino to sitting down on the train is the same. But instead of pulling down your lap bar and then your little shoulder pads, you pull down your lap bar and then connect your comfort collar. These come down and rest right on your shoulders. But here's the key. They are not lined up flush with your neck. If you've ridden West Coast Racers or a Skyrocket 2 in the SeaWorld chain, you know how it is. They're not the greatest, but compared to the shoulder pads, it's a huge upgrade. Make a left turn and head up the 203-foot lift. The first and second drops are pretty smooth, and those were the best part of the ride with the old trains. With the new trains, nothing's changed. It's not until that left turn towards the casino where you hit that first terrible Togo transition, and that would be the first big neck-banging moment. Now, you hit your neck into the comfort collar a little bit, but it's nothing compared to how it was before. Next come the 2 inversions. First, the loop, and that's always been alright. Then you got the dive loop, another big neck banger in the past. Now, your shoulders dig into the comfort collars a little. Then the abrupt pullout slams your butt back into the seat. That's not all that pleasant, but you can chalk all that up to bad Togo profiling. The rest of the layout is full of hills, turns, and a helix. All filler track, and you get a very tiny bit of airtime on those hills. Still, you would hope you get something a little better than that. The addition of the new trains did not solve the problem of how bumpy the ride is throughout its course. It's nothing too bad or painful, but it's still disappointing that this is still a problem even with the new trains. This is especially bad around the turns. The rattle is insane. I think the biggest problem I had with this ride in the past was the fact that you can't see the track ahead of you unless you're in the front row. If you're in the front and can't prepare for those terrible Togo transitions, you can brace for it or roll with it so your body isn't jerked around. These new trains help with this problem, so I'm moving the Big Apple up on my list. It couldn't go down much further. This was ranked at number 394 of 531, and it's getting a decent bump, up to 323. It's in the same company as coasters like Wildcat at Frontier City and Georgia Scorcher at Six Flags Over Georgia. Still, not surprisingly, this holds on to its title as my favorite Togo. I know its competition is Shockwave and Windjammer, so in the end, I wouldn't brag too much about that. This is not a good ride, but if you're not going to be good, at least be interesting. Big Apple is interesting. From being over 200 feet tall, pushing a mile of track, wrapping around the New York City skyline, you don't feel super cheated about the $19 it costs to ride. That's still a stupid amount to pay, but once in a while, you gotta do it. Why? I don't know. I have issues. If you've ridden the Big Apple coaster in the past, let me know what you think of it. I know a lot of people that think it's underrated. I wouldn't go that far, but I can understand that opinion. If you've gotten to ride it with the new trains, tell me how much you think it made a difference. I think it makes the ride significantly better because you don't have to ride defensively, but nothing can help the ride's layout. It is what it is. That's all I have for now. Before you go, don't forget to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, give me a sub, and check out my playlist for other coaster reviews. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage, and my baseball channel if you love sports and need your baseball fix. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.